In the West, we have a tradition of ascended masters. And how does that relate to connect with the Hindu tradition? Whether you speak about going up or coming down, either way, it doesn't matter. It's the same distinction that you've probably heard me make between the Hindu and the Buddhist traditions of everythingness and nothingness, right? So the practices are very similar, but in the Hindu tradition, we describe the end as everythingness, purna, right? Everything. In the Buddhist tradition, they tend to describe that space as nothingness, shunya. They're describing the exact same experience, but from a different perspective. The same place, different perspective, different way in. In the same way, whether we talk about being of the earth and a consciousness that ascends, or whether we talk about being the spirit, the soul that takes the body and comes down, the avatar concept. Again, we're talking about the same thing. All of us, whether ascended master, avatar that has come down, or the overwhelming vast majority of the rest of us somewhere in between, all of us have one thing in common. Many things probably, but one specific thing, which is we are soul in a physical body. That is true about everyone. Body is physical, cut it, it bleeds. Soul is what's inside. And it's not even individual souls. It's not even plural souls. It's soul. One soul. Different waves. Different form. It's like my favorite quotation of Thich Nhat Hanh, that enlightenment is when the wave realizes its ocean. Okay? So you could call that ascended. I was a wave, and then suddenly, I was ocean. Well, was I ever not ocean? Of course not. Did the ocean become the wave? Yeah. I mean, it took the form of the wave. So whether we say, I was the wave that was ocean, or the ocean that took the form of the wave, again, we're describing really the same phenomena. And this is the truth of all of us. Physical body, true self of soul. When we ascend, it's when we realize that. This is, in the Hindu tradition, when we speak, I won't go into the details of it right now, but when we speak about the concept of our chakras, our energy center, and the kundalini energy that rises through the chakras, eventually up to the chakra at the highest point on the top of our head, it's an upward movement of awareness, of energy, of connection. And ultimately, when that energy center opens, what's the experience? Well, the experience is of connecting to the divine soul to soul, drop to ocean, wave to ocean. I've had to move through my identification with the body. And that's really where the distinction comes, is ascended masters, they know their soul. Avatars who have taken body consciously and come, they know their soul. They're not stuck here. They're in the body, they use the body. But on both sides, they're very acutely and constantly aware, I am soul. And they're moving through the world as soul using a body, rather than moving through the world as the body the way that we do. But it's a shift simply in identification. So I'm identifying as the body, the corest, basest aspects. Then slowly my identification is rising. It's getting a little bit more ascended, you could say. Open, connected, right? So at our lowest chakras, the way of interacting with the world is subject and object, right? If you think about the sex energy or the anger energy, in both of them, it's a concept of objectification. The other is an object for my pleasure, an object to satisfy my object, or an object upon whom I'm going to thrust my anger, who I have to get out of the way, who has done something or is something that is an obstacle on my path. In either case, it's an objectification. It's the lowest way of interacting with the world. I'm an object, you're an object. Slowly, 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 our awareness, consciousness rises, right? Even long before we get to the top, we get to the heart center, okay. So when I love, I connect. I lose some of that border and boundary, and we keep moving. And again, and there's not time to go into all the details, but finally, I open, and I'm connected, which means I'm aware. I'm living in that consciousness as soul, as divinity, with a body. And so, again, they're taking you to the same experience, but with just different descriptions, different ways of talking about it. But look, there's nothing but God, right? And so if we accept that as truth, then every religion, every path must obviously take us to the same place, because that's all there is. Right? We don't say there's one God, we say there's nothing but God. Isha vasyamidam sarvam. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. It means everything in the universe is pervaded by the divine. Nothing, no one that is not pervaded by the divine. The tree, the grass, the water, the soil, the ant, the people, the cup, everything. It's nothing but God. So it's all about our vision, our perception, which direction I'm looking. And that's how they connect on a very basic level.